Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Drives channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads. We bring you the latest and most in-depth reviews, updates, and stories from the world of motorcycles. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about retro modern machines of the year, the 2026 Royal Enfield Continental GT 650. So, grab your helmet, and let's ride into the details. Let's start with what makes the 2026 Continental GT 650 so exciting this year. Royal Enfield has done an excellent job of keeping the soul of the bike intact while still making some pretty significant upgrades. If you've been a fan of the GT series, or even just curious about Royal Enfield's approach to modern classics, this update is definitely something you'll want to know about. First up, the engine. The 648cc parallel twin remains, but it's been refined. For 2026, the tuning has been tweaked for better mid-range response, making it feel punchy around the throttle. It still delivers that smooth and torquey character we've come to love, but now with slightly better fuel efficiency and cleaner emissions, thanks to an upgraded ECU and revised internals. The power figures are still around 47 horsepower and 52 Nm of torque. But the delivery feels more immediate and controlled, especially when you're weaving through city traffic or accelerating out of corners. The sound is another thing enthusiasts will notice. The GT 650 now comes with slightly redesigned exhausts that still give off that rich, throaty note but with a bit more character. It crackles a bit on the downshifts and purrs confidently when cruising, making it a joy for riders who love that mechanical symphony under them. Moving on to the chassis and suspension, the GT 650 retains its classic double cradle frame, but the suspension setup has seen a subtle but impactful improvement. The front end now gets upgraded 43mm USD forks from Showa, replacing the conventional telescopics. This upgrade gives the bike a firmer, more planted front feel, especially during aggressive cornering and hard braking. At the rear, you still have the twin gas-charged shocks, but these have been retuned for better progression and comfort. The result is a ride that feels more premium, more stable, and just more refined overall without losing the old-school charm. Royal Enfield has also paid attention to the ergonomics this time. The riding triangle remains sporty, but the clip-on handlebars are now slightly higher and wider, reducing wrist strain during longer rides. The seat cushioning has also been improved, and there's a new seat option with Alcantara-like material that adds a touch of luxury. While the stance is still aggressive, it's now a bit more forgiving, which should make this version of the GT more appealing to riders who want to do more than just weekend blasts. The wheels are still 18-inch front and rear, but they now come wrapped in a new generation of Seat Zoom Cruise tires co-developed with Royal Enfield. These tires offer better grip in both dry and wet conditions, and the profile helps in making the bike feel a bit lighter on its feet. That said, if you're a performance junkie, you'll still probably want to swap to stickier aftermarket rubber, but for everyday riding and spirited runs, the stock ones do a commendable job. On the braking side, the 2026 GT 650 gets dual-channel ABS as standard, and the brakes themselves have been upgraded with bi-brake calipers offering improved initial bite and better heat management. The rear brake especially feels more useful this time around, which is a welcome change, as previous models were often criticized for a somewhat vague rear pedal feel. Now let's talk about one of the biggest upgrades in this version of the electronics. Royal Enfield has been cautiously modernizing its lineup, and the GT 650 now features a brand new semi-digital instrument cluster. It still maintains a circular retro look, but the screen in the middle now provides essential information like gear position, fuel consumption, distance to empty, and even basic turn-by-turn navigation powered via the Royal Enfield app. It's not overly flashy, and that's the point. It gives you what you need, without taking away from the analog feel of the bike. There's also a new USB-C charging port tucked neatly under the handlebars, making it convenient to power up your phone or GPS on the go. And yes, the bike now comes with optional heated grips and even cruise control for those of you who plan on taking it for longer highway rides. In terms of design, the GT650 has always been a looker, and for 2026, it gets new colorways and finishes that really pop. From deep metallic greens to matte blacks and even a striking burnt orange, Royal Enfield has given riders plenty of aesthetic choices. The tank now features subtle 3D badging and a more sculpted knee recess, which adds to both the form and the function. Small changes like these go a long way in enhancing the overall premium feel of the bike. Speaking of premium, build quality has definitely taken a step up. The switchgear feels more tactile, the paint finish is smoother, and there's less visible wiring thanks to improved cable routing. The fit and finish are where you can see Royal Enfield really investing in making their bikes not just feel nostalgic, but also up to par with global standards. Let's touch on the ride experience. Take it out on a twisty road and the Continental GT650 truly comes alive. The improved suspension and tires give you confidence to lean in harder, and the bike holds its line effortlessly. It's still not razor sharp like a Supersport, but that's not the point. It offers a more organic, mechanical riding experience, one where you feel connected to the road. The throttle is smooth, the gearbox shifts cleanly, and the clutch action is light enough to handle bumper-to-bumper traffic without wearing out your fingers. When you're on the highway, the bike feels stable and composed, even at speeds north of 120 km per hour. The engine has enough grunt to overtake with ease, and the wind blast, while present due to the cafe racer stance, isn't overwhelming. Some riders might want to add a small fly screen for better aerodynamics, especially if they do a lot of long-distance riding. Now, let's talk about practicality. Fuel economy for the 2026 GT650 hovers around 25 to 28 km/L, depending on how hard you ride it. With a 13.7-liter tank, you're looking at a range of roughly 350 to 380 km, which is decent for this class. The bike is also surprisingly manageable in city traffic, thanks to its torquey motor and relatively nimble handling, though the weight might catch newer riders off guard at first. Maintenance has always been one of Royal Enfield's strengths, and the GT650 continues that tradition. The service intervals are reasonable, parts are widely available, and thanks to a growing aftermarket community, customizations and upgrades are both easy and affordable. Speaking of customization, the Continental GT650 remains one of the most mod-friendly bikes out there. Whether it's far-end mirrors, custom exhausts, new seats, or even full-on performance kits, the options are nearly endless. Royal Enfield themselves now offer a wider range of official accessories, and most of them are bolt-on, meaning you don't have to be a garage expert to give your bike a personal touch. So, who is the 2026 Continental GT650 really for? If you're someone who appreciates classic design but doesn't want to sacrifice modern reliability, this bike is for you. If you love spirited weekend rides, coffee shop runs, or even commuting in style, the GT has got you covered. It may not be the fastest, or the lightest, but what it offers is a deeply satisfying, analog experience with just the right amount of tech and refinement. And for riders upgrading from smaller displacement bikes, the GT650 offers an approachable step up. It's got enough power to keep things exciting, but not so much that it becomes intimidating. Plus, with its rock-solid engine and growing global support, you can count on it for the long haul. Sure, it's not perfect. The rear suspension could still be a bit more plush for pillion comfort. There's some heat around the engine area in stop-and-go traffic. And it still lacks cornering ABS or traction control, which some newer riders might expect. But for the price and the package, it's really hard to fault what Royal Enfield has done here. All in all, the 2026 Royal Enfield Continental GT 650 is a perfect evolution of a modern classic. It retains the charm, builds on the performance, and refines the experience just enough to feel fresh without losing its soul. It's not just a motorcycle, it's a statement. A statement that says you appreciate good design, thoughtful engineering, and a riding experience that speaks to your senses. So that's our full review of the 2026 Royal Enfield Continental GT 650. Let us know in the comments what you think. Are you planning to pick one up? Or do you own a previous generation and want to share your experience? We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with your fellow riders. Until next time, ride safe, ride free, and we'll catch you in the next one.